Hello, you. It's me. And I just had a few things I wanted to discuss. This picture, by the way, comes from Foxy True Crime. This is Aurora, the baby, supposedly, who is getting close to walking. And babies are cute regardless. I don't have to see the baby's face. But once again, this is supposed to be Aurora the baby. Where's the blonde hair? Or the light brown? This baby has very dark hair. And also, the pictures that were supposedly leaked that seemed to have been allegedly leaked by Christy herself with a fake account shows a baby once again with dark brown hair, very messy, looking like someone just pulled ponytails out of the poor kid. The kid looked quite disheveled, and it's kind of sad. If this is true, I hope that people are calling Child Protective Services, or it's like Department of I can't remember what it's called. Child Protective Services is what I know, but it's Department of Protecting Children, whatever it is. I hope they're getting constant calls because no baby should look so disheveled. It's one thing when a baby has just woken up, their hair is kind of in their face, a little messy, and you brush it out of their face and, help them wake up a little bit. If you have to rush to the store, I can understand, in pajamas or something. But that baby looked completely disheveled, and it was disturbing. Just saying. So anyway, more lies, more deceit, more bullshit. And it makes me laugh because I think it was Pink Chihuahua who put up a part of a Brie live where Gypsy has the audacity to say, I'm just really tired of all this childishness and I wish people would just stop it. And I'm thinking, are you kidding? You're promoting all this childishness by pulling all the stupid bullshit that makes everybody question what the fuck you're doing in the first place. You say that your child is blonde or light brown hair. This child is dark haired. And you put this up saying that this is Aurora, the baby. You say that your child has big blue eyes, and Christy says, yes, she looks so much like Mia, except that the baby pictures that were leaked, the child had brown eyes. And even, was it Ken who said that her eyes were just like Gypsy's who has brown eyes? They can't keep their lies straight. It's so annoying. And, you just get fucking tired of it after a while. Gypsy is the one who's childish, who is intentionally, I believe, putting out all these bullshit pictures, all these lies, making up stuff. Oh, look it, she got caught. Someone leaked pictures. Christy, probably. It's so stooppid. She is the one who's childish. She does not act like what is she, 34? A 34-year-old woman with a 1-year-old child. She doesn't act like that. She acts like a 15-year-old who doesn't care about anybody but herself. She's the one who's perpetrating all these deceits and lies. It's her. She's putting out all the 50 billion fake pics. Who knows if any one of them is Aurora? Who knows if Aurora even exists? The they did, it was Trixie Lane who bought I think it's like 57-page divorce decree between Gypsy and Ryan. And there was, I think, only one page where it mentioned that there is a baby, well, there is a child under 11 years old, and it's in the care of Gypsy. Okay, so this was done December 10th. So if Aurora the baby does actually exist, it would have to have been born before December the 10th. Am I right? Can you say a child is in the custody of a parent if it's not born yet? I mean, I guess technically you're carrying the baby around. So it's with you all the time. But I don't think that counts. It's very suspicious. And listening to Trixie Lane's podcast, or, her live, that was talking about it, I don't remember her mentioning anything about a paternity test. And wouldn't that have been included in the divorce decree? Just to oh yes, this is not Ryan's baby. And if the baby was born before December, or before December 10th, then when was it born? Was it born in October? Was it born in November? Because that makes a difference as to, who the potential father would be. But I believe she was banging Ken in February, so it still could be his. Maybe before then, who knows? It's Gypsy. Everything is lies. Everything is, oh, they're so stupid, they'll believe anything. So she puts out different information that all contradict each other, and we're just supposed to go with it. Oh, well, this is the new Gypsy story, so we should just go with it. Unbelievable. I don't know why this is such a little nitpick, but every time she shows a baby, she's posing with a baby, or here where it shows a baby walking around looking at stuff, or not walking, but, picking stuff up out of a bin. Every time she shows it, the baby has dark hair. And I know that's stupid, but why is she claiming for the baby to be blonde and blue when every time she shows a baby, it's got dark hair? I mean, right there, you're lying. And maybe if Aurora the baby exists, maybe she does have blue eyes. But then why did all the pics of the baby, there's like 5 different babies that I saw, and they all had brown eyes, dark brown. None of it makes any sense. It's so dumb. And even the divorce decree, I don't even know if I believe it anymore. Because there's so many bad actors in this whole scenario. And I'm talking when it comes to judges, when it comes to the attorneys, when it comes to all the authorities, the parole officer, when it comes to all of them, it all seems shady as shit. It all seems stupid. And the hair cutting thing, Gypsy said herself, when she gets nervous, she cuts her hair. And even in prison, she would use a nail cutter to cut her hair. And also, if you notice, later on in life, Dee Dee also had her hair very short. I mean, maybe that was something that they did together. I don't know. I don't know if that has any relation to anything. But Dee Dee had very short hair, especially near the end. And, maybe it was something that her and Gypsy did together. I don't know. I always thought that Dee Dee would have Gypsy's hair cut short because Gypsy might have had a habit of chewing on her hair or doing stuff with her hair, and Her mother just wanted to cut it short or shave it just to, so Gypsy wouldn't fuss with it. I don't know if that's true either. But Gypsy didn't seem to have any problem with cutting her hair shorter and shorter and shorter. Her mom's not around anymore. She made sure of that by murdering her. So, is it just a habit now? What is the claim going to be this week? And it is true that when content creators talk about her and say, well, why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? Suddenly she does it. It's hilarious. Many of you have pointed that out. Like, oh, now that you've said it, she's going to do it. And she does. That's the stupid thing. She does. I talked about how she doesn't seem to play with the baby or talk with the baby. She just ignores the baby, even when they're in the car and stuff. And the next video coming out, she's, blowing raspberries and spitting all over her kid. It's like, now I don't say that's necessarily from my video. There's other videos talking about that too. But I thought that was the most hilarious take. Oh, she's just spitting on her kid. How is that playful? Agreed. When I used to blow raspberries, it was on a cute little baby belly, and the cute little baby would giggle with glee because they thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And, but there's no connection between Gypsy and any of these babies. And if any of these babies are indeed Aurora, the baby, she's older than we think. She probably, well, a lot of people actually said that when she did her book signing that it looked like she had given birth because she looked exhausted. And that could in fact be true if she actually had a child. Again, she does so much stupid things, so much childish behavior. There's nothing about her that's adult. The only thing that is adult about Gypsy Rose Blanchard is all of the rehearsed speeches that she gives, that she's been doing since she was a young woman of, a teenager. Or her mother had her, well, I don't know if it was her mother who had her give speeches, but we've seen clips of her, giving a little speech, thank you for this, or this place was great, or whatever it is. And she seemed to be, very into the moment. She likes the spotlight. But it's only those rehearsed statements that she says that sound grown up. Because everything else she says, she sounds like a 15-year-old. Which, again, just marries with the idea that she is not grown up. She's learned nothing. She takes no responsibility for anything. And she probably never will. And she's not very bright, because if she was smart, then she would keep her story straight. But her story changes, it seems, not just from week to week, month to month, but day to day, minute to minute. She just spews out whatever fits the narrative in that moment, and then she'll change it, the next day. And that's where her minions are getting caught, because they will say verbatim what she said, and then she'll say, oh, no, that's not right. You're stupid. You don't know me. It's not even their fault. She says it and then contradicts it, changes her mind, or gives a phony bullshit excuse for it. Oh, it's PTSD because I was so abused. As for those of us who've actually been abused, what a slap in the face. Seriously. It irks me on a level that I'm not even sure I can explain. Because, not just for myself, because I went through a whole lot of shit, but for everybody else who's also gone through a whole lot of shit. I hurt for them And she doesn't hurt at all. She's so flippant about the way she talks about abuse. And nobody that I know of that's ever been abused talks like that. And that's what really irritates me the most. But we're going to keep on her ass. She is panicking because, one, people just don't give a fuck about her anymore. So she's trying to do all these stupid, lazy things to get some attention, and no one cares. They just really are not caring anymore. The only thing I care about is not Gypsy. I care about Aurora the baby, if she exists. Because I don't want a child being harmed. And we've seen where she ignores the baby, where that baby is disheveled and unkept, untaken care of. You know, she doesn't have any connection to the child. Every time she tries to hold the child pushes her away. We've seen that time and time again when she was younger. You know, if in fact that's Aurora the baby. But there's no connection whatsoever. The only connection is her talking about how she likes being a mom, but she does nothing that a mom would do. It's gross. It really is. And she says, oh, I've learned from my mother what not to be so I can be a better mother to my daughter. No. You are the opposite of your mother in a lot of ways. But that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing because Dee Dee was dedicated to Gypsy, and Gypsy is dedicated to Gypsy. We've seen it time and time again with, oh, what's the best thing that's happened to you in 2024? Ken. Really? Is that seriously? And Ken has to remind her in the baby, oh yeah, the baby too. No, you don't give a fuck about any baby. I hope to God there is no baby. But again, we don't know. Her pregnancy was so ridiculous. But we just don't know. And it's not because she's crafty or that she's smart. That's not the reason. But I think most of us have a really hard time believing that somebody would go to this length to fake everything. And yet, everything seems fake. So it doesn't compute. It doesn't make sense. And that's why we question it. Not because we actually believe that Aurora the baby exists. It's because she put so much effort into faking things, and we have to think, who would go that far? Eventually, she's going to be caught. Why would anybody take it this far? But we have to understand, Gypsy likes to play the long game. You know, over 4 years, she tried to kill her mother. She finally did it. Now, it was only 2 years that she planned it with Nick. But she was doing it, as we know, the BB gun, and she talked about a situation with a knife. I'm still not sure about that one, but Gypsy is the one who mentioned it. And that was a couple years before she met Nick. So it wasn't just planned to, a year or two in the making. We're talking like 4 years in the making. She planned this for a long time. She was just looking for the right person to set up. That's it. Anyway, I just want to get that out. Because once again, I am so tired of Gypsy's bullshit. You just look at her, it's like, can you just tell the truth once? Or like the whole truth, like not a little tiny sliver of truth wrapped around bullshit. Just tell the truth. That's what grown-ups do. You want to prove that you're a great grown-up, that you've grown, that you've changed, that you're a mother now and a girlfriend and you have lots of responsibility. Then act like it. Act like a grown-up. Maybe a little of that acting will rub off on you and you'll actually start to grow and change. But I don't have my hopes on that one. Anyway, thank you for listening. Please, lots of comments down below because I love it. I will put the link so if you want to donate to my channel, you can. And that is all I've got to say.